time started. Welcome to BRL Realistic Tier. I am your commentator tonight, Rathel, and alongside me is my usual partner, Biwo. How you doing there, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm kind of jealous right now because it's cloudy at COTA right now, and there isn't a cloud to be found in real life. So, going to my home Grand Prix, my home state Grand Prix, being the fact that I live where basically the same state COTA's at. It's nice.
Yeah, I kind of agree because right now I'm over by Toronto, not as close to Ottawa right now, but like we've been hoping for rain for the last 2 days. Now I'm hoping for rain tomorrow. So hard. I just want a wet practice. I don't want a wet race, but a
Well,
wet practice would be okay.
they had a wet, what are they, grid walk. They had that today, so none of that was going on.
Yeah.
Well, as the cars are hitting the track, let's take a look at the championship, which is all to play for. Taylor Clan leads with 145 points with 2 races remaining. His teammate, Boss Cookie, is 2 points behind him. P3 is Shazam. He is 125 points, 20 points back from Taylor Clan. Chandler Sierra is P4, 102 points, or 43 points behind. Alpha Nice is P5. He is 57 points behind. He has to get within... Well, I take that back. He is not within the championship fight. It's only those 4, Chandler, Shazam, and Boss Cookie, and Taylor, for this fight in this championship. For the constructors, that indeed is very tight. Mercedes leads Red Bull by 3 points. They're the only 2 theoretically going to fight for the constructors championship. Ferrari's P4 with 174 points. They have an 11-point lead over McLaren, who's in P4. P5 is Alpine. They have a 10-point lead over AlphaTauri, who's in P6. Aston Martin's P7 with 38 points. Alfa Romeo's P8 with 13. Williams is P9 with 8. And Haas, their home race, they are looking to score hopefully a points-paying position result before the end of this race or next week at Brazil. No,
Well, it's pretty realistic to how the tiers or how the the actual season kind of turned out. So at least the performance on the cars is on point.
Yep, looks like Phantom's gonna be the first one to at least settle lap. Interesting. Let's see if there's anything we get through our friends in the chat of what the weather's going to be.
Yeah, that would be good to see. I think it's just gonna stay cloudy, or else other people would have jumped out of the pits earlier, I would have imagined.
Yeah, one would assume if it was going to be. Oh, so it's going to be a dry quali. However, it's going to be a full wet race. So this kind of changes up things a little bit. You don't have to worry about tire choice in Q2.
But it's gonna be wet. Phantom invalidates there, unfortunately, so he's gonna have to make another run, but I'm sure a lot of these drivers are just gonna have to find a setup for the wet and figure it out. Maybe that's why we've had a bit of a delay for some of them to come out.
That'd be interesting with what we've been told. It's going to be heavy rain, so
Full wets.
yeah. See if anyone be interested if anyone's going to make a compromise with their setup to deal with that. As center goes purple sector 1, but I believe he's the second one to start his lap. Phantom was the first, but he invalidated.
So we'll see if Stenner's got it. I don't know if that's a name change or if that's a new driver.
Doesn't ring any bells for me. I'm interested to see what happens in real life when we go to COTA because they're getting a repave. I don't think it's a full bore repave, but they're repaving a lot of this track.
To be fair, it does get abused. It's in a very hot state with a lot of hot sun.
I can confirm.
So it's gonna get torn up and need to be repaired. I would say, more often than probably some other tracks per se.
Well,
So,
you'd be surprised. I mean, yes, I mean, that's just, you just went over the obvious. It does get hot here in Texas. It also gets cold. I mean, it's not as cold as it is up there consistently, but we do have our cold periods, and that does change the surface pretty dramatically. So if you think about it, they haven't repaid it since 2012, its debut. I mean, just look how quickly the asphalt changed colors from 2012 to about, what, 2013, 2014. It wasn't as black as it was when it first showed up.
and it was pretty bumpy last time they were there. I don't think the cars could honestly handle it if it was as bumpy as it was last time. Hopefully it's a little smoother, and that'll help the porpoising and suspension of some of the drivers, so you don't have a three-wheeled car like Vettel ended up with that one time. So
Yeah. They tried.
that was pretty dangerous.
Yeah, they tried grinding it a little bit as Chandler got a little bit of a snap of understeer as he crosses the line. P2.
I think he wanted a little bit more on the mediums, but that snap did cost him a bit. So
see, he does have the fuel light on, so he's not going to go for another go. Trying to bring up ahead the points thing up, and then I got rid of it. Now I'll have to bring it back up again. Sanchez is left. Oh, well, it's hard to.
Minico's gone a little bit slower to the Ferrari, at least on the mediums.
Yeah. Chandler, for him to have a chance in this championship, you know, he can't win it outright. So here's the thing. If Taylor Clan wins tonight in Brazil, he will have 3 wins. The Boss Cookie's 3 wins. If he doesn't do that and the championship does end up in a tie, Boss Cookie will win the championship because he has 3 wins to Taylor's currently 1 win. So, all intents and purposes, Taylor's you won't be able to. It's hard to explain more or less. If they all have 3 wins, then it goes down to, okay, who has the most second place finishes and blah 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 blah. It's complicated. Hopefully we don't have that problem. Chandler comes in.
Yes and no. I think it'd be pretty exciting to come down to a big math game in the end of how tight it is. I think that'd be interesting at very least. But yeah, I don't think we really want to be sitting there doing the math.
No.
It's just gonna be a few drivers trying to get out for those laps. A few invalidations so far, but everybody else getting out for a lap. Minico improving on his time for 33.4.
Yeah, there's some other kind of tight championship battles. Veyron's in P6. He's 7 points ahead of Zach. Yeah.
Is Veyron even here though?
Oh, no, he is not. So Zach has the opportunity.
Yeah.
To get P6 tonight.
And there's only 2 races left, so points are points, and he'll take them.
You only get 52 points remaining for the rest of the 2 races combined, so that's all that's there to play for. As Drix goes fastest, I believe that's in the Aston Martin. Yes, it is. Crucially, we only have 1 Mercedes driver here tonight. And
yes, when the championship we have Alphanesis. He's just had some connection issues. We do have Shazam and Alphanesis.
And I did not realize this. Taylor is not here. I just realized this now.
Yes, we do have Heatwave in.
So,
who has been a very strong driver, respectively. So, we'll have to see.
Well, this gives a good opportunity for Boss Cookie. I mean, he's in the Red Bull, which won, 4 races this year. He has an opportunity. He can't clinch the championship tonight, but he has a good chance of, let's say he wins this race, to walk away with a 24-point lead, which means basically Taylor's gonna have to win, and Boss Cookie can't score a point. Period.
Well, that is interesting considering all the earlier issues that Boss Cookie had in the season to pull it back out and under.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Power to him. Congratulations if he can get it done. But we have a huge ass wet race, and we've seen him not survive some races. Will that possibly make a difference?
Well, we all know kind of wet racing. It kind of takes away car performance, or kind of that pecking order way. It goes down to honestly driver performance, and you know we've seen races where someone not even in the top car, you know, Chandler in the Ferrari was a prime example. He could very well fight for the win because it kind of takes away, you know, the engine dependency advantage that the Red Bull and the Mercedes has.
Mm-hmm. I do agree. And who knows, maybe with the right strategy, you know, the right time for a safety car and a pit, maybe going the long stint on the tires. We'll have to see what pans out.
Yeah, right now, 12 have set a time. Boss Cookie is coming through
Almost
sector
getting
2
out.
now. Oh, no, we did have 2 Mercedes drivers. Who are we missing? We're missing the Haas. Okay, so
At the home Grand Prix, Minico has moved over to McLaren, I guess, and I don't know who else they have for the seat.
it's kind of hard to tell who's how much time we have left because of so many yellow sectors going on with people making sure they're not impeding anybody.
I think Drix knows the pace of the Aston and knew that he can throw it up there with the soft set. While all the other drivers are doing some mediums because Q2 probably won't matter due to the wet start. Guessing a lot are going to just do softs and softs to the end.
It would probably be, yeah. You know, let's take a look at who's already gone. You have Skather, Shazam, Heatwave, Maniko, and Zach all saying their times on mediums. That could potentially just save a set of softs, being the fact that, you know, as Maniko's retired in the pit lane, I believe, just to save that set for later. As oh, Drix is around. Luckily, doesn't hit anything.
5 minutes left in the session, though.
And Boss Cookie hasn't validated, so he's got the fuel light on, so he'll have to come in and get new tires and stuff. So still hasn't put a time on the board.
Yeah. Yeah, you did a this and next lap, unfortunately, and that cost him pretty dearly. So
4 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's see who's on the lap. Chandler's on an out lap. Stig is done, completed. Sprightly through sector 1, going through sector 2 now. He's on a lap. So is Thomas.
getting out of the way. Chandler's on his out. Yeah, Toneless has been on a run, and Sprightly, yeah.
I guess Maniko feels pretty confident that that medium time will hold up. Not a bad time. I believe it will hold up.
I'm thinking a lot of guys are just going to do softs for Q2, Q3, so dump the mediums now.
Well, with the rain, we don't have to worry about, like I said, tire choice. So yeah, I do think Q2 is going to be soft heavy. There's no point in trying to get into Q3 on mediums because, well, you're not going to need them.
Not going to need the slower time, so... BRL's putting down times, but Minigo moving down a little bit.
Yes, I thought...
Center puts down that time.
I got Heatwave and Boss Cookie confused. Boss Cookie is on another lap.
Yeah, Bosco can get in and go for another one, but I know there's other people to the line. Supply Raptor starting a lap. Sanchez, I believe, is starting a lap. AlphaTauri behind is Deer Hunter, who finished a lap and is going for another, I think. I don't know, I got a timing glitch. It says he's got 2 minutes on the clock, so
I got 2 minutes and 36 seconds. As Boss Cookie comes to the final corner. Keeps it straight, so this will be a valid time. And there he shoots up the pole, so that's impressive, being the fact that that's on 3 laps, soft tires.
Yeah, the soft showing their pace around here. I think it has something to do with just a few extra laps on the track. Chandler goes up to second. I don't see why they needed to be out there on the softs to put it up there. I think they were safe as it was.
Yeah, right now, the Ford that will not be transferring to Q2 would be Star Trip's Broken Reptile Supply and Alphanese, as they did not put time on the board. Same with Sanchez.
Alphanesis has had disconnections every single time he's tried to go out and get his outlap done. Supply Raptor moves up to 10th. That might be safe on the mediums for Alpine.
It's gonna be.
I think a 33.4 is probably right where we're looking around.
Yeah, I think if you look at where Manico's time, it's, I believe the stick is retired. That. I can't tell if that's slightly retires from the section pit lane, so he's done.
I think he knows that the Haas doesn't quite have the pace to get up higher than it is. He's still sitting in 15th if other people can't get that lap in, so. Alphanesis is disconnected and now has to try and do another outlap. So again, I don't know if they're going to be able to even get out for an outlap.
With 46 seconds now.
So Sanchez just needs to do a valid lap. Scartrix needs to get to the line and do a valid lap. Same with Broken Reptile. So, not impossible. Mers, our other Haas driver, snuck their way in here. So we do have a full grid, 20 at 20. They retire in pits because they know they're not going to get out in time.
Yeah, that will. So yeah, Sanchez and Scartrix and Broken Reptile, they're going to try to bump their way into Q2.
Phantom on the bubble, trying to do a little bit better now. He's have to try and do better if these guys finish out their laps. So.
Oh, who was that just crossed the line? Is that just a start of the lap or finish a lap?
No, that's Reptile. He didn't get the line at the end,
yeah,
so unfortunately,
he won't advance.
Yeah, he won't advance. So right now, Sprightly's still safe. 2 drivers down, 2 to go.
Here comes Sanchez.
So
Corner.
Sanchez is through. That's going to be a valid time.
Oh.
And it's going to push Sprightly out. Down to Scartrix now.
So right now the time to beat's a 35.3. Sanchez will be good. So it's only Phantom that's on the bubble that could be bumped out.
And Phantom's still on a lap and improving, so we'll have to see who wins between him and Scartrix. I know the AlphaTauri's got up maybe a little bit more pace than the Alfa Romeo, but...
Well, Phantom's the second quicker. So this will actually put Sanchez back on the bubble. I did not realize he was
well,
on
if it
a lap.
pushes Sanchez onto the bubble, then he's safe. That's all he's got to do, regardless of what happens to Scartrix. So...
I don't know how much time he lost there on the second last corner. We'll see.
It's still enough.
He's in.
More than enough, up to P12.
So 35.07 makes the time that Scartrix has to beat. Can he do it? He does.
He does. That's up to P7 for Scartrix, so he's very safe, but that's going to push Sanchez out.
So that is Q1 done and dusted. And the 5 drivers that will not be moving on will be Sanchez, and the Alpine. Both the Haas's, Sprightly and Mers, and the Williams of Broken Reptile, and the Mercedes of Alpha Nice. So, not what Mercedes wanted in the constructors battle, but they still have 27, or was it 27, 28 laps of the Grand Prix in order to make that up. Hopefully his internet issues don't plague him in a race.
Well, at least then he doesn't, like, the thing is he can't get an outlap done to start a lap. Like, he needs 4 or 5 minutes of connection, but it never happens in quali, so maybe he can work on it for the race, and maybe a few reconnections he can get a good position, but yeah, that doesn't help out.
He was our last week's winner at Japan. And now we move to Q2, still cloudy. And everyone is still waiting in the pits. And we'll see the 10 drivers that will go for it in Q3. Like, we don't really have an initial rush for anyone to leave at the moment, as 40 seconds clear of Q2, and now we got some action going on at the downside the pits and in the Mercedes pits. So it's like it's the Williams of Stig. He'll be the first one to lead us out.
Yeah, a few drivers on their way out. Bit of a parade.
It started quiet. Now we got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers now out.
Still a few medium runners. That's a little surprising to me.
I think all these are going to be our bankers. I mean, you got Deere out there on mediums, Stig's out there on mediums. I think it could just be a banker time. Who knows? The weather report has lied to us in the past. For all we know, it could not be a wet start. It could be a dry start, and it rains basically on the opening lap. But from what we've been told, it's going to be a wet, basically full race. So Sither is also left. So we've pretty much got everyone's out, but 6 cars, so 11 cars on the track, if my eyes are not deceiving me.
Which means, sort of lots of room if you can find a pocket, but they've all gone out at the same time, and now they all have to find some air or get a tow.
Yeah, I mean, COTA is big enough to where, theoretically, you can get all 15 cars spread out. Should not be an issue, as the McLaren of Manicko leads. And he'll just wait till these two go by, and then now he'll continue. And Stig actually enters the pits, so I believe it's going to be. Let's see, Stenner has already. I believe Shazam's going to be the first one to set a time. As he goes down the long second BRS straight. Chris is behind him. He's not about it yet. Either as Phantom, but I think Trix is back out of it. Oh, it's one of them, Skither's around.
Yeah, McLaren off of Skither in Sector 2 there.
Lost. He doesn't have his front wing, so he's had a moment down at the other side of the freeway or circuit.
Yep. And Shazam showing his pace out there with a 31.8. Deer Hunter with a 34.3 on the mediums. I'm not sure that's going to be enough in Q2 for the top 10 at this point, but we'll have to see. A lot of the other drivers were doing that on mediums, but I think this is a soft run at this point because of the weather. But man, it has got a lot of traffic going on.
Yeah, it's certainly busy. As now we have 13 drivers out on the track.
Heatwave starting a lap. Boss Cookie following his teammate through. What has he got for a time? Don't know. Why is the game slow to give a time on the board? Puts him
Very
second.
slow. P2, so about give or take 5/10 off. A little over 5/10.
Yeah, Stenner does a little bit better on the mediums, but those are the same mediums they qualified with in Q1, so maybe they're trying to get the one set to do both? I guess that's what some drivers are thinking, one set to do it all, and then you have as many sets as you need for Q3. Hard to say.
I don't know, I think with the time that Boss could just I don't think he's gonna have to worry about going out again. Same thing with Shazam.
Heatwave trying to get out of the way of others. He has had an issue on his lap, I guess, and he's bowed out.
Yep, he is on the medium compound, so interesting.
Tricks invalidated into the pits. That's Minico to the line. What has Minico got? That's a 32.1, so he's going to go second fastest right now with the McLaren. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Started.
Who else is next across that line?
It was Supply is spun. Now he spins to get out of the way. I believe that was the Ferrari of Chandler. Indeed it was.
Oh, Scartrex had to slow up because Stig in his way. Slow in sector 3 there. He did have to lift.
So we'll skip these are
Scartrex.
just we'll skip this as just a
Yeah,
personal
not having the time.
personal best
Sorry
or
about
section best, but Chandler's on purple. Skip that ballot. He comes at the final corner. And
Not the fastest yet, but up into P3 for now. Close to the McLaren, but not faster than their rivals in the championship right now.
still, a good time. That's a very good time for the Ferrari. Thomas will start his flying lap. Zach still in the pits. Right now we've had 8 set of time. We have 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in Q2. I believe that Alpine is Supply. He is spun again.
Deer Hunter does a 3/4 improvement, so moves up to P5 on the mediums for now.
Well, we saw it at the end of Q1, what, at 35, flat was the time to beat. Don't really remember what P10 was, but we saw what the Sparks he ran at 33.7 at the end of Q1 to get P7. So I think theoretically you're going to want to probably get within the 34s to have a shot to be in Q3 at the minimum.
Yeah, Heatwave goes 33.391 on a set of mediums, so lots of drivers out there to try and get a time down. Chandler into the pits with an invalidated lap. Almost coming to the line. What do they have on board? Good lap from the Alfa Romeo, but still not going to be... Oh, it is enough. Okay, so there is a little bit of latency and lag. They're up to P7, so good on them. Goes deep into turn 1 to get out of the way of Supply Raptor. Thank you, sir, as they're getting on for a hot lap.
getting that down to 5 minutes 48 seconds, so won't be long until we
Zach
see.
getting out there for his first lap. And Trick's also out there for a lap. So all the other drivers at the back starting to get out there now. Stig back out there for another out lap in the Williams, trying to get that car going. Sither to the line. And they go P2. Minico's retired early as per usual, and Sither is a 32 flat.
Yeah,
on the
I
softs.
think the top 5 can be pretty safe with their times. Interesting, you know, with Zach here, you know, like Mercedes and Red Bull, who are only separated by 3 points in the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari and Red Bull, or Ferrari and McLaren, are only separated by 11 points for P3.
Which is pretty close when they don't typically get the win. They're usually there fighting for other podiums, but McLaren did scrape out that big finish, which was a big closing in on the gap. Chandler hasn't been here a few weeks, but Zach has been very consistent, so it's been an up and down season, I think, for both of them.
You know, well, right now McLaren with P2, P3, all intents and purposes will be going to Q3, so they're off to a solid start. As here comes Zach. What does he have at the line? Still kept it valid. 32.5.
P6 puts him beside his teammate at least 3/10 out, but that's good enough.
Yeah, right now.
Drix splits them though with his Aston.
Who's that leaving the pits? I believe that is that. Okay, who is the Red Bull leaving? As Chandler's retired. It's Heatwave, so Heatwave is gonna have another lap. As Toneless is the one on the bubble for 134.163. So that's the time that Stenner, Phantom, Scartrix, Supply, and Stig will look to beat, as I believe that's Supply leaving the pits now. It is, as Lost Cookies retired from pit lane.
Yeah, Stig trying to get their out lap done. Same with Stenner.
Oh, Skither has had a moment at the end of Sector 1 going into Sector 2. He was purple Sector 1.
Yeah, he was going for a fast lap on that set, but I don't think it's gonna happen now.
That looks like he's still pushing hard.
Unfortunately.
No, he's going to the pits. As Drixie's invalidated, he goes into the pits. His teammate Stenner is just starting, I believe. Yes, he is just starting. Half a second faster in Sector 1, so right now Stenner is tracking a half a second improvement. He's on a 33.7, so that's looking to put him P9. Let's see what he has for at the end of Sector 2. This long second DRS straight. And
It's so long you could fall asleep halfway through.
he's the second faster, so right now he is tracking to be P8 with a 33.2.
It's gonna be enough, but Deer Hunter out there with an out lap on those set of softs. He did set his time on medium, so he could probably improve a lot. Heatwave, I think, is out there as well, trying to improve for a safer bout, safer number.
Here comes
I
the
think
final corner.
anybody in the 32s is definitely safe.
He's
Center gets
7.
32s. That's safe. He pushes Zach down by a few thousand, so that's good.
So that puts
Good for him. Heatwave is about up a second, so that'll put him into the 32s.
Toneless is out again. No, he doesn't. I don't get this. He's not set a time. Well, that's odd. Usually they'll give you the delta of what his time was now versus his previous run, and I didn't get that. Okay, now I got that. Toneless is about a tenth quicker now as Heatwave goes on pole, so that will put now Deer Hunter on the bubble, but 33.939 as he's on his outlap.
He's got 30 seconds to make it to the line. Supply Raptor on his run, chasing down Deer, so he'll have a second lap if he feels it. Stig on his way on an outlap, so I don't think he's gonna make it, but I don't know if that's just the game glitching and he's on a run. So.
Stig is a quarter of a second faster, but he finds a lot more time as... Who was that just jumped up there? Supply now goes
Supply
up to
Raptor. Yeah, he moves up to P10. He's going for a second run in case that's not safe, but he's on the bubble. That's going to push Deer Hunter down in case he invalidates.
Here's going through
so far, so good through the S's.
About 2 tenths. He's going to have to find basically 5 tenths this lap in order to have the chance to get in, as Toneless is completed. He will not be a part of it. Scar Tricks, 32.8.
No, but Deer Hunter is going to get a pretty mighty tow from Heatwave, who will back out after the straight, towing Deer Hunter along the way. That could be enough to push him up. Scar Tricks into P10 though, so now he's got to do a little bit better of that 32.8. You're right.
He's a little over 7 tenths faster this lap, so that's tracking to be a 33.2. That won't be good enough. He's gonna have to find about 4 or 5 tenths here in sector 3. Can he do it? Oh, there's a little bit of a moment there. Yeah,
it's just enough to push his teammate down by a few thousandths. It's a close fight between the two Alpha Tauris, but they're going to take it 10 and 11. Zach's going to hold on for P9 into Q3, the Ferrari holding on.
Yep.
So
Phantom crosses the line P14, so that is Q2 done and dusted. Heatwave, Shazam, Skipper, Nico, Boss Cookie, Chandler, Drix, Stenner, Zach, Deer will all advance into Q3. Unfortunately, Scar Trick, Supply, Toneless, Phantom, and Stig do not. And that's a heck of a lap there by Deer to get that on the final go. And he didn't have much room to play with, only 0.02 faster than Scar Trick, so by the way, his teammates still.
Exactly. So yeah, it was a pretty close fight.
Oh, I take that back.
I don't know what's going on with this lobby. It's clearly got some issues, but Stig trying to do a lap. I don't know why it wouldn't finish him when he went across the line, but...
Yeah, are we at COTA, or is this Le Mans? Because I just saw 3 minutes, 23 seconds. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, then it just says he's doing an outlap again. I don't know what's going on with this game. It's very odd. Yeah, so far so good. Top 10. We'll have to see how that pans out, because we know there's not going to be too many overtakes.
This isn't
in the
going
wet.
to be good. The timer has stopped at 1 second.
Ah. Tell Stig to retire?
Yeah, Stig's gonna have to retire or something.
Come into the pits?
I don't even know if that's even him. I mean, it could be his AI. Yeah, there it is. So he's left. Thank you, Stig. I don't think that was on him. I think that was honestly his game. Yep. So we go to Q3. The shootout for pole. We had Boss Cookie be P1, I believe, after Q1. Q2, that is Heatwave. So we'll see if we'll have a Red Bull on pole for the race. And hey, the times aren't that much. You know, look at the McLarens. They're not that far off.
No, but they're ahead of the Ferraris because if it's in the wet, the thing is the Ferraris won't be able to pass, and that could change up the championship going into the final round. So, because if they close up that 10, 11 point gap,
Maybe.
one round left, it would be a fight to the end.
Well,
So,
we do know what. So, I math, which is scary when I say that. Dude. So the most I believe what a team can score is 44 points when you put P1, P2 plus fastest lap. So to put that in perspective a bit, Mercedes would need, I'm not even going to do straight up points and all that. Not gonna, that's just too much time. 45 points is the gap, I believe, that Mercedes will need in order to clinch the championship tonight. And same with Ferrari Ferrari to clinch P3 in the championship. So what that really means is Mercedes needs a 1-2 with a fastest lap, and Red Bull cannot score. They might be able to score what? 10th, 9th, 81 car. Same thing with kind of Ferrari. Eight drivers out, so, and Stenner is just leaving now, so now I have 9 drivers out. It only leaves, I guess, Deer Hunter in the pits.
just Deer Hunter. Everybody else trying to get a tow. I think that's mostly what it is. No one wants to go out alone. I think they can get a little bit more pace. Everyone trying to find a teammate out there to work with.
Well, looks like the Red Bulls might be trying to do something, as I believe that's Boss Cookie.
Yeah, but it looks like they got a little tag along of Zach in behind them, so that might be a 3-man chain there. Chandler starting his lap, not wanting to give a tow to really anybody. I think that's Drix, I think, behind him. Yeah. Drix trying to get a tow off Chandler, but he's a little bit far out.
Yeah,
Zam's got a bit of a gap.
The gaps aren't, you know, small enough to provide a tow right now. Maybe Zach gets one on Boss Cookie, but I think, you know, we've seen dirty air here on straights. Yeah, it's great to have a tow, but you know, the chicanes and the S's, the dirty air does play a role.
Will it be enough? Like, that is a very long straight. And maybe the Ferrari lacks enough of the straight line speed that it's worth the tow for the risk, for the extra pace.
Well, we're going to find out. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it might not matter for the race, being the fact that, you know, we're going to have a wet race, so.
Well, everyone's going to want the best position possible so they don't have to deal with overtaking in the wet.
Yeah. At least you don't have to worry about, you know, earth saving. The battery pretty much regenerates itself in the wet, so. This Chandler sets things off with a 131.751. Drix.
Didn't quite get the lap he wanted, but Shazam goes faster.
Yep.
What do the two McLarens have in behind of Minico and Sither? Minico moves up to P2, pushing down the Ferrari. What does Sither have to the line? Not fast enough. He's probably going for another run, maybe getting a tow from his teammate.
Yeah, he charged.
Maybe. Yeah. Unsure. Zach only doing a 32.5, so maybe the dirty air not panning out.
So I'm guessing Boss Cookie invalidated his first lap, so he's going again. Oh, save it. He does. Wow. It still kept it valid.
I don't think he's gonna like that time though. So that's. But it still says he's on an outlap, so I don't know.
I think it's a glitch. I really do. Unless he did
It's a very odd glitch.
Unless he did a quick in and out, going in the pits and out, but I swear he didn't. Because Zach is behind
I'm pretty
him.
sure he's on a hot. I agree with you. Stetter doing a second lap after invalidating. Deere starting his first lap with 6 minutes left, so I'm not sure he's going to have time to do anything. Oh, and Stenner is off and out. That's going to throw the Aston all the way down to 10th.
Indeed it will be. That's unfortunate.
So that's another position gain. That's not going to help Aston, but could be a spot for Deer Hunter. An easier spot for Zach and Drex's teammate, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, Heat Wave is on his outlap. The only one that's on a lap is Deer Hunter. Completes sector 2.
Come on, Deer. What do you got? What do you got for us, Deer? You got this. To the line.
Well, we just saw him.
Show us what that Honda Power's got.
We just saw him produce some fireworks at the end of Q2. So what? Oh, yeah, he still kept it valid with that. So everybody says. Still waiting. There we go. P7, 33 flat, basically.
So, not what he probably wants.
Right, we know.
I think he can find a little bit more.
We know he just went 2/10 quicker, so. You know there's a little bit more pace in that car. There's Boss Cookie and Chandler now on outlaps, and I can confirm Boss Cookie is on an outlap.
Yeah, Sither into the pits now, so he's going to try and get some fuel, fresh set of tires, and go for one more lap to the end. He's still got a 31.9 on the board, so not bad. Heatwave making their way out on a hot lap, so... Thanks, Solar. You've been a subscriber for 5 months, so we appreciate that. I just seen that notification in chat, so why not give the shout out? Heatwave's gonna get a tow from Boss Cookie. The Red Bulls working together. Boss Cookie drops down low to give his teammate all the room he needs to get the corner done.
Yep. He hasn't said time yet, Heatwave.
No, he needs to set a decent time here and now. At least that would be preferable, I'm sure. Boss Cookie's probably on his way into the pits. Might have a chance for one more lap if he wants it.
P4 for Heatwave, 131.742.
So a little bit faster than the Ferrari, but not faster than Minico in the McLaren.
So we'll see. I think the Red Bulls here are kind of playing this swap game. You're going to see Heatwave, I'm pretty sure, going to get as far as he can up so that way he doesn't disturb the air that Boss Cookie's going through now. Then, when they come to the second DRS rate, you'll see Heatwave slow up, and then that's when you'll see him give his teammate Boss Cookie a tow.
Yeah, Boss Cookie, I don't know. He's got no battery. I don't think it's...
It's
I
again.
don't think it's working out for him.
It's again showing him on an outlap. What is there? Or here's Heatwave giving Cookie that tow.
Yeah, but I think Boss Cookie's invalidated and bowed out of it either way. And the Ferrari goes fastest on board. 31.3. We didn't quite catch that, but a fast lap from the Ferrari and Chandler. So good on him there. How's his teammate doing? Not quite there. Getting his hot lap out now. So
Rick's starting his hot lap.
He's got cars coming out of the pits though, and they want to get out and across, but
got 2 minutes remaining, so getting down to it.
So they're on a hot lap now, so they're going to try to improve. Pretty much everybody on a final hot at this point.
Yeah, please. Now it's saying Buzz Cookie's in the pits. He's in sector 1.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this game.
Yeah, we might have to make a new lobby.
We might. Who knows? It might be fine into the race, but Codemasters, fix your shit. Oh. I don't think Chandler's on a second hot, but still. No, he's invalidated.
Who is that behind him? Zach. So let's see what Zach does.
It's a big improvement. 4 tenths up. It's going to put him P7 for now. Tricks to the line. Improves 2 tenths. Not quite enough to beat Zach. It's a few thousands off, but close competition there.
Yeah, don't know what Boss Cookie's doing because, well, it shows that he's on an out lap. 22 seconds remaining. Shazam crosses the line to start his next hot lap. His final hot lap is here comes Boss Cookie. This is going to be interesting.
Yes, Boss Cookie made it to the line for one last lap is how that works out. If the timing is correct. Trick's getting out of the way for Deer Hunter. Deer Hunter trying to get through for his final lap. So there's invalidated. Minico, I don't know if they're on a hot. I think he might be on a hot as well.
Shazam is up by a little under a tenth. He is very, very close.
Well, Minico's up 2 tenths, so he might still even have it.
You have to find a big number down here. He's kept it valid. He's gonna have to find a 31.3. Oh,
Minico goes fastest overall. So we're gonna have to see what happens from Shazam. Does Shazam have it towards the line? Is it gonna be enough to beat the McLaren?
Yes.
It's enough to beat the McLaren and the Ferrari. He's up there with a 31 flat. So what does Drix have? Drix comes into the pit, so I think that's it.
That will be it. Shazam's our pole winner for the Mercedes. So no weirds. I think we had this last week. We have a Mercedes on pole and the other Mercedes 20th. I swear that happened last week at Japan. But I mean, in terms of the Constructors Championship, both Red Bulls P4, P5, and then
in the wet behind Ferrari.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then you kind of got the Ferrari there together. Nico's P2, Chandler's P3, and then you look at their teammates. Skither is P6 in the McLaren, and Zach is P7 in the Ferrari, as well as Strix, Deer Hunter, and Stenner that run it out the top 10.
Well, it'd be great because remember, Scartrix is in 11th, so the Astons and the Alpha Tauris are stacked.
Yeah.
1-2, 1-2. So all the championship battles are coming out towards the end here. So Stenner, unfortunately, not being able to set a time, crashed out. Unfortunately, I think around the 6-minute mark, and then that was it for them. But a very competitive ending towards Q3 here, so that'll put Shazam up on pole. Minico for P2 and Chandler for P3. Start us off. I believe we'll be in the wet, so
Yeah, I mean,
Oh boy.
you mentioned, Alpine, AlphaTauri, Aston Martin. Alpine holds P5 with 62 points. They only have a 10-point lead over AlphaTauri since P6. Aston Martin is only 24 points out of Alpine and P5, so there's still a lot to play for.
You never know. Maybe the Alpines charge back. AlphaTauris don't get the points. It changes up everything. You never know. Still got this in Brazil. 2 rounds left. 52 points on the table, and there is the rain.
There it is indeed. And my seat just went off.
The only one out of place is the Mercedes, but everybody else relatively in their championship battle fight, respectively. So,
Alright, well, now that's fixed. Sorry about that. When it's 105 degrees, and when your AC all of a sudden just abruptly stops, you need to go make sure why it abruptly stopped.
Heatwave looking at the Inters.
Yeah, I noticed that. Interesting, and that's very, I would say, ambitious.
Is that too big a gamble for one of the Red Bulls to be taking this late in the championship?
Well, I I wouldn't do it, but hey, that's why I'm sitting up here and not down there. All I want to know is if that does work, that team's gonna look like, geniuses. If it doesn't work, every team's gonna be going, well, you were the only one that did that. I mean, you should have kind of been the outlier with that. See,
I think Sither did a last second changeover to Inters. I don't know. Still says waiting on players, so.
well, looking at, kind of, the rain is supposed to perhaps taper off, so Inters might be the way to go at the end. I just don't think it's the way to go right now, and the track looks like that. But, hey, what do we know? Actually,
It looks wet.
So-
Chandler off into the grass, cutting the track. Zach going through the crowd. Everyone trying to figure out the wets. The leaders have taken off. Minico and Shazam seem to have no real problem with the wet. Everybody else trying to figure their way through.
Well, we saw in Tier 2, I believe, as Chandler's trying to get his position back up front, I think. We saw in Tier 2 where a lot of people had issues on the formation on that because their tires were cold. But once the race started, we didn't really see anyone have any issues. So I think that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Just there's no tire temp. So Heatwave went back on the wets. Skither, though. He's on enters. Interesting.
Yeah, Skither on enters. So will that help out Zach? Will it not? How is that gonna pan
Well,
out?
Skither just about spun coming to the second DRS straight. I was gonna use the Clint Boyer line, but I chose not to, even though you've already, he about busted his ass. There, I said it.
I just don't know about the inters. I kind of hope it pans out for him, but it's just risky.
Well, he's now behind Zach, or is that Chandler?
Well,
No,
I think they've
Chandler.
all had a bit of a position scramble, but now the leaders are all far ahead. Shazam is trying to close them all back in, I think.
Well, we haven't had anyone make contact and get disqualified for avoidable contact.
No, you are supposed to stay within a certain range of the car ahead.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of avoidable contact here in Texas. The Cowboys find enough contact as it is. That's why their offense has sucked the last 10 years.
Oh.
It's just spinning.
Alpha Tauri off? Oh, Alfa Romeo. Toneless.
Well, the championship. We know the drivers' championship can't be decided tonight, but can the constructors be decided tonight? Will Chandler get within 26 points to keep the championship fight going into next week? Same with Shazam. He was 20 points out. Does he still maintain that gap? We will see as the red lights are about to begin. Or not. There we go.
5 red lights at Circuit of Americas. And away they go. Looks like a fairly decent start for most of the crowd. Shazam gets a good run. Minico trying to hold off Chandler. Heatwave having to dive down the inside. Chandler gets down the inside of Minico. They all go wide into turn 1. Lots of action. It's about 4 wide all the way back. Everyone's looking for a move.
One of the Haas's.
Some wiggling from a few cars. But yeah.
The Haas was all but spinning, but he saved it. I believe that was Sprightly. And this whole skither on entries, he's lost 4 or 5 positions.
4 or 5 positions already, so it's not panned out so far.
Yeah, he's lost 5. So right now that doesn't look ideal as Shazam leads over Chandler, Minico. Red Bulls occupy P4, P5.
Stenner's gotten the run. He's gotten ahead of both of his teammates. Oh, and that's him and Boss Cookie off. Stenner and Boss Cookie go off together.
Oh, we got that's a Haas. That's Sprightly. He's broken his front wing in the back. Stig.
With Stig, yeah. And Sprightly. So Boss Cookie all the way down to the bottom.
VSC.
Alpha Nisus from the back all the way up to 13th. It's only lap 1. VSC. So they're still having issues on those tires, though.
Well, not the start that Boss Cookie wanted. He does have damage. The right end plate is missing. This is...
Yeah, that's not going to pay out well. He's going to want a full safety car to close him back in, but overtakes are hard, and from 18th, even in the Red Bull, that's not an easy-ish task. You
No,
move up
but
most of the grid, but the top guys will be a pain.
I have a feeling Boss Cookie is going to pit because of the damage. The two people that
We're
are
going to go green.
the two people that are smiling about this as Boss Cookie does come in, Shazam and Chandler, the two drivers that needed to gain the most ground in the Drivers' Championship, are 1-2. Shazam at the moment is at the position to where he could be the championship leader going into Brazil.
Sither did not go to the pits, so he's going to try those inters out. He's going to get the run down by Alpha Nisus, though. Alpha Nisus up into P12 from 19th, 20th, so good on them so far.
That Skither just does not have any traction on this inter at all.
Oh, Chandler's had a moment. He's off, and that's going to send him all the way down to P7, P8. So I don't know if that was contact or if that was just him having a moment, but Chandler's got some work to do, unfortunately. Still ghosted, I think. No, maybe not. No, still ghosted on my screen. Maybe he's DC'd.
get those guys back in here if I can.
And Deer Hunter is also not in the
Yep,
lobby.
I've sent them that as well, so
Awesome.
hopefully they...
Zach's falling off from the crowd, but he's doing good on his pace.
So Chandler's now joined. That's good. He's gonna have some serious work to do to get back into where he was running, which was P2.
Miniko running a faster lap, but Heatwave running a faster lap than Shazam. So they're trying to close it back in.
It's unfortunate. Chandler lost 14 seconds because of that.
Yeah, this race hasn't gone well for a few drivers, and I would like it when my game gives me it so I can actually sort through the list for drivers that are battling. Thank you. Deer Hunter's AI falling down.
Yeah, it is.
Battle between Mers and Stig. Mers has been DC'd, so he's off.
I tell you, the driver that's made a lot of ground so far this start, Alpha Nice, who started P20. Apparently his Wi-Fi has been fixed. He is P9. He's up 11 spots. Wow.
Looking at that move on Sanchez, can't do anything on it this straight. Just gonna try to line it up probably for the next one here. It's a nicer inside line. Not quite the traction I think he wanted, but deploying some ERS at this point to try and get ahead.
Yeah, luckily you don't have to worry about their battery so much. It will just kind of regenerate on its own with how much these guys will be on the braking due to the rain. So Miniko, who's got heat wave all over him. Chandler's left again. Actually, both Ferraris.
Oh, Stenner gets ahead of
Oh, who's that?
Zach.
Alpha Nice is spinning.
He's off, and that's going to set Chandler back ahead.
And
Phantom's right there to scoop that position as well.
Actually, we're having I think a full lobby reset.
Yeah, there's been quite a few DCs. Zach is even DC'd. I know Deer Hunter had a DC. Alpha Nice has had a DC. Chandler had a DC. Mers had a DC. So that's at least 6 drivers.
Yeah. So, I tell you, the one person that's just going, "Are you kidding me, Shazam?" The first 3 laps was everything he wanted, but hopefully these guys do get the memo that we're no longer racing.
Are we? Is that the memo? Is that what's going on?
That's
Yes.
what the
Checking. Lobby reset. Yeah, okay.
So
Well, I guess these drivers are getting the practice in at least. But, yeah, we're going to have a lobby reset. That sucks because we're 4 or 5 laps in, so we got a long ways to go still.
yeah.
Lobby restart for any of the drivers that are listening in and trying to figure out what's going on. Miniko has left the session now. Trix, I think, is having some fun with it. Scartrix is out. Migrating hosts. So, yeah.
That would put a little bit of a delay on things, as we'll have Chandler make the lobby, and it's going to be a wet start, as it would have been with the random lobby, but with the lobby having issues, and it was kind of noticeable. I mean, the boss cookie.
It was pretty noticeable.
Yeah. Boss cookie pretty much. Hot lap, pitting, all on this. Well, I was in sector 1, like, oh yeah, this something's not right here.
So Sither is at least gonna make it out because he's not gonna doesn't have to start on the inters, I guess.
Yeah, I think he learned.
Unless he's gonna be forced to start on the inters. I don't know how that'll work.
I mean, it's a wet start, so the only tire rule I am very aware of, and this is real life, is it's a dry start. You have to start on your compound that you use to get in Q3. But if it's a wet start, it's a free choice. So I think, in theory, if he wanted to start on wets, he can.
Yes, but he also started the race on inters. I don't know if any of the other drivers will raise a stink that he started on inters. He should start again on inters if it's the wet race, but I don't think it's working out for him either way. So
No, it was not. Yep. This will just be a minute, hopefully. Not too much of a delay. Still going to be 28 laps.
yeah, still gonna be 28 laps. Still gonna be all the same racing action we're used to. Just gotta do a quick reset. Thank you, Codemasters, for making such a stable game. And if you can't tell, I'm speaking sarcastically. That was sarcasm. So, yeah, thank you. Hopefully the next one's better. So, we'll see.
So we're only missing 3 more drivers, 2 more drivers, so not that far away. One driver. Oh, okay, so we just need one more guy, and then be able to get the show on the road. And the race lineup will be the same. It would be Shazam on pole, followed by Nico, then Chandler. Yeah, that was the top three. And then it was the 2 Red Bulls. Then it was Skither P6, Zach P7, and then I believe it was Deer P8. P9 was
The other Alpha Tauri, Stenner.
Stenner. Okay,
Or Aston Martin, sorry. Yeah.
it was P.
And Scartrix
Oh, all right, all
was
right.
11th. Yeah, yeah.
I was close. I was trying to see if I could do the whole thing.
On memory, I know it's hard to just do a quick grid that you seen a hot second ago and then say, where was everybody placed? Yeah.
Oh, we had 19. Now we have 18 people here.
Sure, we're just waiting for them to get back in, because we did have 20. Back up to 19. Still waiting for, I think, everybody to get in here, so that they can set the grid.
Yeah. I guess we're only gonna have 19 drivers.
Hmm. Here we go. Loading in now.
Well, we'll have the usual stuff, the formation lap and everything, and hopefully this will be straightforward. And we won't run into any issues. Let's see. I'll have to... I don't have sound. Interesting.
Pause and unpause usually
I
fixes
did.
no sound.
Yeah, I did.
But maybe it's just because we're waiting for the grid. So we shall see. All right. Nobody on the inters this time? Doesn't look like it. Everybody on the full wets. The experiment is over. On to our formation lap.
No one went.
Zam leads us off again.
I guess no one wanted to gamble. I don't blame him. So
I don't blame him.
looks
Didn't
like
quite work.
we didn't have one of the Haas's MERS rejoin, so that will be the reason why we have 19 drivers here and not 20.
Deer goes very deep, and it's going to throw him off. So now he's behind Stenner. Scar Tricks and Supply Raptor sort of sorting themselves back in, but yeah, driver's already going deep into the corners, so we'll have to look at that.
They're trying to get some possible heat in their tires. Now I've got sound and all that back. It's good.
Well, Stig's done a good job to loop it back. You just gotta catch up to the crowd. Yeah, a little bit of a spin there. No harm, no foul, I think. Tires might be just a little bit more worn. Sither has disconnected. That's not good. Stenner runs ahead.
Well, hopefully this race will go straightforward unlike the previous one, and yeah, we get some
And we
actual
get to the
racing
end.
here. Yeah. So,
No disconnections, everything good. Yeah. Hopefully everything well.
well,
And fine into the
it's
end.
kind of a reset, So, well, we know the drivers' championship can't be locked up tonight, but the constructors' championship can be. Mercedes entered with a 3-point lead. If they walk away with I would believe, a 45-point lead or higher, they will win the constructors' championship.
That's 5 lights and away we go at COTA again. Hopefully this time for the last time. Shazam still gets a good launch. Chandler doesn't get the launch he had last time. Minico makes the dive for turn 1. Not quite. Shazam goes deep. Chandler looking for a move. They're going 3 wide again at the back.
That puts Minico in the lead.
Nothing has changed at the rear. But Minico in the lead this time out. It's worked out better. Sither down many spots again, unfortunately. They all sort of sort their way through a little bit better this time, but Stig having some issues.
Yeah.
Trick's now fighting up the inside. Heatwave having to fight both of the Aston Martins that have fought their way through. Zach's down a few positions. Deer Hunter and the 2 Aston Martins have made their way up. Scar Trick stays the same. Alpha Nice is up 3 right now. Deer Hunter going for a dive down the inside of Zach. Can't quite make it, but he does with traffic in front, so now he's Zach is sandwiched between 2 of the Alpha Tauri, sorry. So
yep, back up front, Minico has about a half a second lead over Shazam. Chandler about a second back from Shazam. Then it's Boss Cookie, so P2, P3 in the championship, and P4 in the championship, or 2, 3, and 4, as Shazam trying to get the lead back from Minico.
Goes for that dive down the inside of Minico.
Yeah, but Minico's gonna have the line now.
Sam has to back out of it a little bit, looking for another move. Can he get it done? It's going to close Chandler and Boss Cookie in a little bit more. So the fight's not over yet, as is pulling this into almost a 4-way fight. If it can get there, Heatwave trying to close it in as well.
Heck, everyone's, even Drix and the 2 Aston Martins, they've had a good start. They're up to P6, P7. Shazam trying to look to get by Minico. Minico is pretty defensive down the front stretch.
Sither's out.
Retired. That's going to produce a safety car.
And that is a BSC. It's going to hold Minico ahead.
It is indeed.
Sither is out. That's going to be a big deal for Ferrari in the championship.
Indeed it is. As keep having the points up but not up, as going through various pages and channels, so I'll bring that back up. Actually, while this is going on, I'll give you a little recap of the championship. Taylor Clan's the championship leader. He's not here tonight. Boss Cookie's teammates 2 points behind him. Shazam, who's currently P2, he is 20 points behind Taylor. And P4's Chandler is 43 points. Constructors, Mercedes leads Red Bull by 3 points, and McLaren trails Ferrari by 11 points. And then Alpine occupies P5. They have a 10-point lead over AlphaTauri's P6 and a 24-point lead over Aston Martin's P7. So Alpha Nice, just like kind of the little race that we had that didn't, exist. He's up to P12, so he's up 8 spots.
Yeah, Zach's gotten a worse start in this one. He's down to P11. Alpha Nice is up 7. Zach down 4. Sanchez also up 6, so from P16
Yeah.
has moved up quite a bit. Just got knocked out of Q1, but is making the most of it. Back up into the points by lap 3.
And Aston Martin right now, they're doing the best job they can. They're ahead of both AlphaTauris and both Alpines. And they're the ones that have the most ground to gain or to make up to get P5 in the championship.
Alphanesis through Zach down at P11, P12, so Alphanesis still on that charge.
Hey, Monique is doing a good job of keeping Shazam at bay. We'll see if he'll be able to continue to do that. And the dry, the Mercedes is by far the more superior car than the McLaren. But in the wet, it changes. It doesn't. It's like putting a lid over it, over the different car dependencies, engine dependencies, stuff like that, to where it's kind of more even playing field. And it kind of goes off the driver talent more than less, what car you're in.
I think this just best suits the McLaren. You can go slow in the corners and fast on the straights. This is McLaren Prime, is it not?
Oh, I've worked with Manico in the past. He's pretty handy in the wet, so this isn't really foreign to him. I worked with him in season 6 at McLaren when he was in Tier 2, and I don't think he has a problem in it.
No, typical of the Canadian.
See if he goes defensive again. He did last lap. Last couple laps. Now he doesn't.
That flashing is not because he has no battery, it's just because it is raining. So that will be the hard thing to figure out on your enemies, because guess what? There is no indicator on if they are low, because you can deploy a lot at this track because there is so much regen.
There is so much regen as Sanchez gets the 3-second penalty for cutting corners. You get 2 warnings on your third one. You do get a 3 seconds. Here's the thing. I think everyone knows kind of everyone's situation. Everyone, as Deer Hunter now gets one.
Scartrix is off. Scartrix is off and out of the S's, so that's going to throw him back. Deer Hunter kind of holding up the crowd here with Sanchez, Alphanesis, and Zach. So
Alphanesis now on the points. What none? I mean, when it comes to battery, it is about the same. You're going to expect everyone to pretty much be high 70s, 80s, 90s. So there's not really anything. They all know what each other has.
I mean, you can still do heavy deployment here. It looks like some drivers are already down into their 70s.
Yeah, but
pushing hard, so.
It will reach out. I would like this. In the wet races with Bailey's never asked about ERS because Bailey knows that everyone around him has ERS. So the drivers know the situation.
Yeah.
Boss Cookie's moved up the spot. He's gotten by Chandler.
Setting fastest laps.
What I'm going to do is take a photo of that and a photo of that, so I don't have to keep bringing this page up. Yeah, right now with Drix P6 and his teammate Stenner P7, who they have opened up a 4.5. Stenner's opened up a 4.5 second gap on Deer Hunter. So right now that's 14 points to AlphaTauri's at the moment, right? 4 points, so they'll gain 10 points on AlphaTauri, and right now 12 points on Alpine. Chandler and Heatwave battling for P4. Chandler has it, Heatwave wants it. Drix is about a second behind these guys, so he's done a good job to just maintain, as I believe Deer Hunter and Sanchez are fighting.
Yep, Shazam just makes the dive on Minico into the lead, so there is that. Boss Cookie's still looking for the back of that McLaren. Chandler able to hold off Heatwave for now. The two of them are quite close, but Heatwave trying to pressure that move. Deer Hunter and Sanchez, yeah, side by side.
Trix is basically right hanging with these guys.
Oh, he's right with Heatwave, yeah.
Yeah, Alphanese has caught Sanchez, and Shazam has left. Please have. Let's see. He has, good. Okay. Send him as much as he can. That's gonna hopefully not hurt him too much. You can get
But
back
it's
in
going to
here.
slot Boss Cookie through and Minico. Shazam is rejoining.
That's good. So hopefully he doesn't lose too much ground. Boss Cookie leads. I don't really have an interval, but I want to say a half a second over Minico, and maybe a little bit more over between Minico and Shazam.
Alphanese is looking for another move here on Sanchez. Deer Hunter still ahead. Sanchez backs out of it down the inside. He doesn't really want to fight for it this early in the race, 6 laps in.
Yep.
It's okay with P10 for now behind the
Minico with a tank
Mercedes.
slap, he saves it. Almost reminiscent of what happened in Nico Rosberg in 2015. As Deer Hunter has passed, he's retired. Is that going to be?
And that is a safety car. So that's going to slot Minico down behind, not where he would want when a safety car just popped out. Chandler's going to be able to close it back in.
So
maybe any of the drivers behind? Anybody can jump in for fresh stack?
you know,
maybe Zach? Maybe it's worth it for the extra pace?
I don't know. I mean, the wets don't really deteriorate as fast as the inters. I don't think you're going to be coming in unless you're changing tire compounds, unless you're wanting to go to the inters. And being the fact that everyone just went by the pit lane, yeah, unless you have damage right now, you're not going to pit.
Yeah, that's true. Broken reptile into the pits. I know they don't degrade too much, but even 7 laps, it might be worth it for some of the back runners. Sprightly gets a drive-through for speeding under safety car. It doesn't look like he's going too fast. I don't know if that's a game glitch, but he's got a 2-minute lap time. I don't see how the man could have been speeding. Whatever.
Well, we've seen the Delta kind of play tricks. Meanwhile, with Deer Hunter out, that means the only AlphaTauri remaining is Scartrix, who's P14. So at the moment, AlphaTauri is not on to score points. With Alpine at the moment with P9 of Sanchez, a supply P11, but Aston Martin right now are in a very good position to get a lot of points out of this to close that gap to Alpine for P5 in the championship. They could pass AlphaTauri tonight.
So that could be a big deal. 2 rounds left. Big wet run. Astons do well. Scartrix has already had an issue on the curves and spun. Deer Hunter's out, so AlphaTauri not too strong in the wet.
I tell you, one driver that probably benefited the most in the safety car is Alphanese. He started 19th. He's up to P8. You know, he was just behind Deer Hunter and Sanchez. I mean, Stig gets another 3 seconds as he's trying to catch up to the field. I believe that's his first, actually. But it gives him a nice reset to where now he could possibly make his way through and challenge up front. He's on board the Boss Cookie. He sounds like he's trying to dump fuel by revving. Safety car going through sector 1. Be interesting. We're waiting for Sprightly and Stig. So, waiting on basically, what, 3 drivers. Sprightly and Stig. Sprightly, who had the drive-through, unfortunately for him, he won't be able to serve that until the end of the safety car. You can't serve it under safety car, so I believe you'll get about 2 or 3 laps to be able to serve it once this race gets
We could
restarted.
get another safety car. It's still pretty possible.
Oh yeah,
early
no.
enough in the race at least, so.
So we'll see. Sprightly's trying to catch these guys. We'll see if the safety car does go in this lap or if they'll wait for Stig. At the rate that the field's going, it might be a while before Stig catches up.
Well, Chandler's still low on fuel, so this might be playing out to his favor.
Yeah, it will help him a little bit.
How low on fuel? Is he still underfueled for this race because of the wet? We'll have to see.
He does have a yellow fuel
He's
light
maybe
on.
preying on safety car, maybe preying on 2.
That's one element that changed from 2020 to 2021 was the ability to not change your fuel mode. Some drivers were a fan of it, as the safety car will go in this lap. I have a late call. So it'll be Boss Cookie that will get us restarted. Zam will wait for him when he hits the loud pedal. He does. They head up the hill to turn 1. Boss Cookie goes defensive. Shazam goes out to his right side. Cookie let him know. Thought that might give the opportunity for Manika to get a chance, but no. Stig has spun. That's the yellow flag. Boss Cookie leads, trying to by a little over half a second. Then you got Maniko, Chandler, Drix. That's your top 5.
Drix and Heatwave are side by side though.
Yeah, Drix. Yeah,
They're both gonna have to fight for this corner. Heatwave has the inside line. His teammate's looking for it on the outside though. Now on the inside of his own teammate. Teammates are side by side.
oh, to be careful with
Your
this.
contact with the Red Bull.
Alpha Nice is now the P8. What happened to Sanchez? He's now down to P12.
Alpha Nice is now looking for a move. One of the Astons off. Stig is retired from the session.
Yeah, Boss Cookie leads almost a second over Shazam. Shazam has a second lead over Maniko. Same to Chandler. Wow, 1.3. Chandler must have just had a moment there. He lost about 4/10.
Drix is already pulling a gap to his teammate. Heatwave trying to close it back up on Chandler. There's a gap forming at the top group.
Well, right now, let's see if what's the Sprightly serves his drive-through. It's one of the. I believe that's Supply that had a moment and is off the track. So, Boss Cookie, who at the moment does have the fastest lap, so he's online to getting 26 points, so he could potentially lead the championship by 23 points over his teammate Taylor. And Shazam could be within 2 points of Taylor in the championship.
Alphanese is still trying to cut through the crowd. He's fighting side by side with Stenner. Trying to catch back up to Drix ahead. Drix doing a good job to close it back into Heatwave. Heatwave slowly losing Chandler, but Chandler not making a great impression ahead, so.
Yeah, they're kind of more strung out now. You saw before the safety car as Boss Cookie sets the fastest lap again. You know, the top 6 actually were pretty much kind of nose to tail a little bit, so it's gotten strung out a little bit. Miniko's almost 2 seconds behind P2.
Yeah, Zach had a moment. He was up into P9 and then...
Oh, that's... Jix gets a 3-second penalty.
Which is right now 2 positions.
Yep.
We'll have to see as the race goes on, but...
I would say, you know, COTA... It's a sleeper when it comes to, you know, corner cutting and running wide. So we could see those 3 seconds start to wrap up a little bit.
Could make the difference. Phantom usually gets a lot more in the dry than he does the wet, though, for penalties.
Yes.
So, track limits are a little more lenient in the wet.
Yeah, with Miniko P3 and Chandler P4, with their teammates either retired or not in the top 10, McLaren looks at the moment to gain 3 points on Ferrari. The gap was 11, so that would be 8 points, but they've not reached the halfway point of this race yet.
And I'm trying to hold on to points, but the works Ferrari is behind him, and Scartrek's not too far behind, as well as Toneless, so...
Yeah, Phantom has a 3-second. That might hurt him unless those behind him start getting 3 seconds as well. Zach
was all over Phantom's rear there.
It's basically pushing
all over
him.
that rear diffuser. Scartrek's looking for a move, though. And Scartrex is going to be able to dive down that inside of Zach. Is he going to be able to hold it, though?
That's going to be close. No.
Zach's going to be able to edge ahead. Scartrex at least wanted to poke his nose and say, hey, I'm here. Almost not too far back as well. Alphanese is all the way from the back up into 6th. He's closing it into Heatwave. Heatwave is very much on the back of Chandler, though. E4 is very much up for grabs. Scartrix and Zach fighting side by side through the corner, but I think Scartrix has it this time around. Zach makes that dive down the inside for the corner. Scartrix is going to have the inside line for this next one.
Well, Chandler, you know, he knows his situation with Ferrari P4. If he lets Heatwave and Alphanese by, not drop him to 6th place, that's only 8 points. And McLaren will gain 7 points, so the gap would be 4 points.
Even better.
I don't disagree.
Even better.
I don't disagree.
Gotta love a tight point gap to the last race, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, Shazam with a 3-second penalty. Good news is,
Yeah, that's gonna pull Miniko in closer to him at least. So Miniko's just gotta close in that gap.
He's got to close in that gap, so but it might hurt him in his battle for the win. The only thing that he needs to hope is if Boss Cookie gets a 3-second penalty, then they're on even playing field. That could be a thing to note for. If Miniko does, by the end of the race, by virtue of, let's say the rain does taper off, he goes and enters, etc., and he gets in with that 3 seconds, he gets P2. That's big for McLaren, that's big for Miniko, and that's not good for Shazam and his hopes for the championship.
No, but so far it's going great for Mercedes, chasing the back of Heatwave. So, yeah, Alphanice is coming back from the grave, back from the back of the pack, trying to make that difference.
It wasn't really his fault.
Due to the connection issues.
Yeah, and I think the lobby was it had its bugs, if I'm honest.
Oh, Heatwave has a bit of a twitch. Alphanice has to back out of it. That's going to give him about 4/10 away from Chandler. So, Alphanice is looking for this move.
Yeah, Sanchez and Scartrix, they got back into P9, P10, and Sanchez right now holding on to P9 with Scartrix 3.2 back.
Zach going to be able to get around Phantom this time? He's going to have to do some work. He needs some positions in that Ferrari.
Yeah, indeed he does.
We're halfway through the race, and
he thought about the dive.
B12 ain't going to cut it at this point.
Well, you asked the question under safety car, would these guys pit? There is a side thing. If, let's say, this rain stays the way it is, we know in dry, you have to go from one compound to another. You have to change, either soft to medium, medium hard, etc. You get it. In the wet, you do not have to pit. The Scartrix hits a 3-second penalty. So, theoretically, if these drivers, if they do the wear right, they don't have to pit. It's legal.
Alphanice is looking for that outside move. Couldn't quite make it done there, so he's going to hold back again. Can he get the job done this time around? Tries to do the outside line.
He's trying to get a really...
Tries to swoop it in.
He's trying to get a good exit off. And try to get that, carry that momentum, but this part of the track is kind of one groove.
One line. That's it, yeah.
Boss Cookie sets the fastest lap. The person that's really loving this behind these two behind Chandler right now is Miniko, as he's kind of started to taper off his pace a bit to the Mercedes. I don't know if that's by design or Sprightly gets a 3-second penalty and he's actually gone off. Now Drix has a 6 seconds. That might hurt him. His teammate will get P7, but no, if Sanchez is Scartrix and Phantom with 3s, that might not hurt them too much.
No, but with a late safety car, that could be a big deal.
That's where it would hurt him. Alphanice all over Heatwave. They don't have the luxury of DRS, so they're going to have to do this the hard way, the old-fashioned way. Alphanice looks to the inside of Heatwave. Just can't really have the room down there. Heatwave didn't make it easy for him.
Not making it easy at all. Heatwave definitely trying to keep that Merc behind, but can't make a lot of attacks on the Ferrari when he's defending behind, so Zach finally gets around Phantom behind. Phantom is off and out.
Does that bring out a safety car? It does indeed.
And it is. So now what's the strategy? We're halfway through the race. Like, the tires are still healthy and will make it to the end, but is it worth it? No, it's into the
Nico,
pits.
Chandler are in. We'll see what the call is. Even though there are,
Boss Cookie keeps going.
I think the safety car caught them out. They had no choice but to keep going. Nico throws inters on. Chandler is going to
I don't
throw
think
inters
Boss
on.
Cookie wanted to get the double stack. I think he just wanted to get ahead of Mark.
I honestly think when the safety car was called out, they were past pit lane entrance. I think that's what was the issue was.
Well, everybody else went into pit except for Boss Cookie.
Yeah, the two that stayed out right now, I believe, Boss Cookie Shazam, I believe they were past the pit lane entrance when the safety car was called out.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, because Benico was 10 seconds behind Boss Cookie. So
that big gap pays out, and now we're going to potentially some inter-running.
Well, this wet tire, it has laid down some rubber. There is a little bit of a line, I think, just by the virtue of running. It's pushed out a lot of the major puddles off the racing line. So, yeah, you have the top four, they're on wets. Then you have the Nico, Chandler, Alphanice, they're all inters. Zach stayed out on his wets. Drix came in for inters. Colin stayed out. Sanchez, Scartrix on inters. Supply on inters. So, yeah, it's a 50-50 split, give or take, that decided to dive in for inters.
At this point, yeah, depending on how the double stack was going to work out. Oh, Drix nearly loses it on the inters. I'm not sure the inters are going to pan out. They don't seem to have a whole lot of grip for some of these drivers.
Well, I think this is a better decision to go on inters than it was in the earlier race where we saw Skither start on inters before the race had to do a lobby reset. That was a bit more ambitious. This is kind of okay, worth, the gamble.
Zach into the pits. What is he going for?
I believe he's going for inters.
Inters?
I
guess Jeff is saying it's time for inters. It is that time, I guess. Broken Reptile in as well. Onto a stack of inters, and Sprightly keeps going.
Yeah, Broken Reptile pits.
Sprightly, are you coming into the pits for inters? No, he's just going to try and close it up to the crowd. No, inters. Time for Sprightly.
So we'll find out real quick if the inter is the right tire or not, as I believe the safety car is going to go in this lap. I know Sprightly's in the pits, but I don't know if it's going to wait. It's been out for
I don't think it's 2 laps, or does it still need to do a third?
I think this is on lap 2.
It might do a third.
It might.
Which will give him some time to close in, which is okay for the Haas. They're up to P15. A few more DNFs, maybe.
Yeah,
Home race in the wet.
very well possible.
So Stenner doing well to make up a lot of positions there. Alphanice is still up 12 from start. Minico down quite a few with that stop. Same with Chandler, but we'll have to see if it's the better strategy. Zach's had a moment, and Broken Reptile slowed down to let him back through. Good an overtake in the yellows. Shazam into the pits. Safety car is still out for another lap. Heatwave and Boss Cookie keep going. Shazam on his way out. Boneless and everybody else on the last lap getting tires.
Yeah, Shazam.
And Alphanesis also pitted on the same lap, so I don't know what's happened there.
I think Mercedes had no choice. If you thought the Inter was the right tire, you know, just go ahead and count your losses as it is, and you know, it is what it is. My question is, I thought Shazam pitted. No, he did not. Never mind.
He did.
Never mind. Never mind.
He did not earlier. He just pitted.
That's what I was referring to. Yes. So, working lap 18, going to assume the safety car will come in this lap. So, we'll have 10 laps remaining. And for the Red Bulls and the lone Aston Martin there on wets, they're going to hope the Inter tire is the worst tire to be on.
Doesn't look like it's raining as hard though.
It does look like it has let up a little bit.
So, going to have to assume all is well in the neighborhood.
There's still some puddles in the corners there and there in a little bit, but the racing line itself doesn't look like there's a lot of standing water. So, Inters might be the play. Inters don't work where there's puddles, and you know, at the start there's a lot of puddles everywhere. Now there's not really on the racing line.
Boss Cookie gets a really good launch. Heatwave does not. Stenner tried to make the move and had to slow up a bit, and Minico's gonna get through.
Minico just...
There's lots of movement. Heatwave having a hard time. There's wings off. Oh no!
Is that the...
Stenner?
Stenner is missing his front wing. That is not good. He's gonna plummet through down the order. I believe that's the only
But
one.
Minico jumps through the crowd after the start. Heatwave having some issue lighting up the tires. Boss Cookie runs away, but if Minico's got the strategy right, he's far ahead from both the Mercedes and the Red Bulls.
We'll see if Minico can run down Boss Cookie. So far, Boss Cookie's been able to maintain it.
Shazam getting through Zach already, and Alphanesis through Zach, so incoming two Mercs up the leaderboards, so everybody look out. Here they come.
I think right now either tire is the correct choice right now. Minico is not really getting on Boss Cookie. Boss Cookie's not really pulling away. He's kind of sort of pulling away, but that big gap was pretty much, I think, because of the what happened at the start. Ricks gets by Heatwave.
Yeah, but even still, fresher tire, there's going to be a point where Minico is still going to be ahead.
One would assume so, yes, but...
Because even if Boss Cookie does stretch to the end, which he can do, the tires will still be at, what, 50-60%? Still won't feel nice.
They won't feel nice, but it's... I mean, it's... And the position...
It's pretty doable.
It's doable, and this is the position that he's in. He knows Shazam's P8. But he came out in this championship, what, 2 points behind? Like...
They're three wide contact with Sanchez and Chandler. But yeah, there's a four-man scrum just ahead of the two Mercs that they're going to have to suss their way through.
And there's a lot of kind of things on the line here a little bit for both sides. A little bit of everything. Boss Cookie, okay, he wants to... He didn't want to pit because he was in the position for the championship, not to win it, but to get a really good gap. You got now Manico from McLaren's P2. That's 18 points from McLaren.
He closed in about a second. He was 3
Yeah,
seconds back. He's down to 2. So, Inters seem like it's it. Scartrex being passed by Shazam. Alphanesis right there as well, trying to keep close to his teammate. Scartrex going low to try and get that position back on the Mercedes.
It's still raining, but yeah, it's
Scartrex trying to fight it back.
There's
Not able to on Shazam though.
all the puddles that existed 2 laps ago are gone. So yeah, you can just tell by the gap. It's
Shazam trying to get through Sanchez. Alphanesis trying to get through Scartrex. Can't quite do it.
Chandler trying to
Shazam
get by.
gets through.
Chandler trying to get by Heatwave to get P3. He does.
Sanchez gets passed by Shazam. Shazam working hard to get through the crowd.
It's
Sanchez goes for the dive. Can't quite do it. Shazam fighting the outside of Heatwave.
this is a wad.
No love lost
Manico
there.
to the
Manico
lead.
into the lead. Turn 1.
Don't think there was nothing really Boss Cookie could do about that.
More contact between the Merc and the Red Bull. Sanchez looking for the move between the two of them. Can you get it done before the S's? It's too wide. Light contact. More light contact. That's Sanchez off. Scartrix takes a big wing off from the back of the Merc. Sanchez, or Shazam, taking a big shunt. So hopefully that's not floor damage, but oh boy, that threw down one of the Mercs out of the running for now.
Yeah, we got Sanchez P6. He's now P5, now overtaking Heatwave, but he's got a 6-second penalty. Drix in P3.
Yeah, Heatwave losing 2 positions in one corner. So the wets
Drix
are not going to do it.
No, Drix is about to get paused here by Heatwave. Boss Cookie. Boss Cookie just basically lets him through because there's no point of fighting right now. He's just at the disadvantage. I mean, it's not going to be long until Chandler catches him.
Yeah, Supply Raptor making it through Heatwave. Heatwave spun round. I don't know if that was contact, but
it's just
doesn't look like that was.
It's unraveled, and
it's just unraveled for Red Bull.
It has.
The strategy was not it. The strategy was not it for the wets. It was down to the inters.
Well, Manico has set fastest lap, so he'll gain that point. No, actually, no, take that back. Drix just set fastest lap. Kind of a lot.
Alphanesis is trying to get through Sanchez, though. With Boss Cookie into the pits, it's going to send them all up one.
Yep, he'll fall out of the points, I'm afraid. Yep, here comes Boss Cookie. Here comes Shazam. I know the Red Bull has the pace, but that's a lot of time he's going to have to gain.
In 6 laps.
Yeah, we'll see if he can do it.
He's got to pray on a safety car at this point.
The heat wave also in. So Manico P1 with the fastest lap. That's 26 points. Chandler P3. That is 15 points. So that's 11 points.
But Chandler running to try and get up to Drix because he can still get it on the penalties.
Yes, he can. So, and now Zach is in the points. He's P8. That's 4 points. So, all intents and purposes, they might level out between Ferrari and McLaren.
It might just be enough to cover off the losses, but Minico doing the work up ahead. He's got a bit of a gap. Drix still has penalties, so right now it's looking game, set, and match Minico, but he's got to make it to the line. Sanchez and Alphanese still fighting it out through the corners. Well, these guys have fought it out for many. Oh, contact there after Alphanesis goes for the dive. And that's going to put Alphanesis ahead for now.
He's had 2 very good recovery drives. So, for Mercedes, it was the right decision to pit, as Boss Cookie now is in P10.
Shazam looking to claw his way back. He's going to try and push Zach down. He still has that penalty to go with.
Shazam
won that fastest lap, though.
Yep, so Right now, at the moment, Red Bull has 1 point towards the constructors. We'll see how that shakes out after the race by virtue of penalties. And there's still 5 laps remaining. But right now, Mercedes looks to have about a 15, 16-point lead going into Brazil.
Yeah, that's something like that, but Boss Cookie with 1 point on the board. Shazam could still make up more.
Oh, that's gonna hurt. So whatever he could have gained on Shazam just went out the door for Boss Cookie with the 3-second he just received.
So yeah, it's all coming undone for the Red Bull to the end of this race here.
Quite unfortunate. I mean, part of it was just bad luck. Bad timing when the safety car was caught out. I tell you, Chandler really hasn't made inroads on Drix's 6 seconds. It's been stationary at 5, so Drix could pull this out. And, you know, you asked the question earlier, does the battery need anything? I said no because of the rain. Now that we're on inters, it kind of does. The battery does get used up a little more. It still returns a bit more, still a little bit more than it would in the drive, but now the battery's going to get used a lot more. You know, Miniko.
Yeah, Miniko's just trying to hold himself ahead, which he can do with the penalties and his gap to Chandler.
Miniko
He's just got to make sure he doesn't take a 3-second. That's what he's got to worry about.
Miniko just needs to drive as the name is spacing on my mind. Dr. Yorick for Audi at Le Mans. He told Tom Christensen to drive like grandma. That's what Miniko needs to do. Just drive. That's all you need to do.
Exactly. Shazam closing it in to supply Raptor, though. Still has a gap to build with that penalty.
But if he can get by supply and get within, 3 seconds of Sanchez, he'll get P5. So
Last Cookie threw the Ferrari of Zach behind, but still has the 3-second penalty to run away from that Ferrari.
Oh, and Heatwave gets a 3-second penalty. Right now,
almost had a bit of a spin or a wiggle because he's fallen down. He's right up with Zach and Boss Cookie now.
Yeah, Boss Cookie's gonna have to pull a gap. Right now, he'll lose still P8 to Zach and Toneless. And Shazam is already within 3 seconds of Sanchez, so he'll get P5. So it's not the podium Shazam would have wanted, but we might look back at the end of next week at this time thinking this could very well have been the moment where Mercedes pulled away in the constructors.
It could be a valuable thing. You never know. We could have some more issues in Brazil. It's known to get wet there too.
Oh, very much.
One wrong strategy call there, and it could be over for this championship. So,
dear Formula One, please put the Star Trek for tires in the pit lane. Please put the season finale at Brazil. Please. Why did y'all?
I don't think they will. They'll go back to Abu.
I don't want them to go back to Abu Dhabi. Something against Abu Dhabi, but Brazil, you have it's a better track for one, and two, the risk of Mother Nature. All I gotta say is 2012, 2008. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. 2007 was thrilling too.
I think they got their fill of final championship runs being wet with Japan, that they said, no, we're going to Abu.
So Spratley had a moment, unfortunately. He's back to P14. Miniko still leads by 3 seconds over Drix, who has the 6-second penalty, but Chandler's 5.3 back, so It's close for Drix to possibly remain P2. Alphanese is P4, Sanchez is P5, but with the 6-second penalty, and Shazam within his 30 seconds, that will actually be Shazam P5. Boss Cookie P7. He needs to pull a 3-second gap over Supply to remain P7. Who's your driver of the day?
Do we have to give it to Alphanesis for moving him from the back to so far up?
I would say Alphanese because he's had 2 recovery drives, but gonna be honest.
Or do we give it to Sanchez for being the silent Alpine that moved up 11 positions?
It would be, yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for his 6 seconds, yeah, it's still gonna be a good result no matter what. I think Benico and Drix as well. I know Drix has 6 seconds, but I don't think we saw a podium on track be a McLaren, Aston Martin, Ferrari. And either way, barring some change of fortune, it's going to stay that way. Benico's driven a fantastic...
Well, let's see if Alphanesis can close. Oh, he's had some issues on his run. I don't think he can close it into Chandler and Drix in time. So I think Drix has P3. The question is, yeah, Shazam.
I don't think he's going to have enough time. He's only going to have 2 laps, so I don't think can really make any inroads, but he has made some inroads.
It's been so good so far. Sam just has to catch up to his teammate. Both the Mercs are back on each other now, but far away from the Ferrari, and Red Bulls are a bit far back. Zach's still not getting along well in the wet. He's fallen off from Boss Cookie and Supply Raptor. No penalties will move him up, so P9 is P9.
Yeah. We've talked about the top step of the championship constructors, also P3 for P5. You know, Alpine came in here with the championship lead, or P5. Sanchez P6. Gonna lose a little bit, but I think he's only gonna lose out the Boss Cookie. Supply P8. Kind of good recovery. Sorry, Supply. Hey, it's still points. It's still points.
Cursed him.
It's still points.
It is still points. Zach's going to be able to move up position if he can hold it.
Yeah, AlphaTauri does not get any points tonight. But even the 15 points that Drix gets, that's big because they will... Aston Martin will pass, I believe. Bring it up again. Yeah, Aston Martin at the moment will pass AlphaTauri to move to P6, and they will kind of close a bit on Alpine. They were 24 back. Right now, there will be 14, give or take. I don't know.
Doable still.
It's very doable.
Still doable.
Very doable. Nico starts the final lap.
Yeah, starting our final lap. He's pulled a gap. He has the battery on Drix and Chandler. So, it's definitely won it on paper up front. So,
well, he is our defending champion in realistic. He won it with Red Bull last season. This season, he's kind of bounced around a little bit. He was at Williams, was at Haas. I think he had a go at Alpine. Now he's here at McLaren. And
he was here at McLaren to start the season earlier, though. He's left and come back now.
I thought he was with Alpine. Maybe I'm wrong.
He was, I think, on a reserve. I don't know.
It's been a long season.
It has been.
Even though
it's been a long 11 rounds.
Yeah, it's been 11 weeks.
I don't think there's any other big overtakes to be had at this point in the race.
Zach is still within a half a second of Supply. So he will probably just sit there and just take the 8th place that he will receive because of the penalty and say thank you. Okay, I don't think there'll be much changes.
Yep, go ahead.
I don't think there'll be much changes other than Drix will lose to Chandler for P2. As here comes Maniko out of the final corner. Well, he went to
Sprightly will finish on the lead lap at least, so there is that. But Miniko will take the finishing here at COTA in the wet. Drix for P3, Chandler for P2.
Shazam.
Alpha Nesis is going to take P4, P5 for Boss Cookie.
Where does that
for
come
Shazam?
from? Oh, okay. I did not see that.
Sanchez into P7. Supply Raptor P9. Zach into P8. And Toneless for P10. That is your points here at COTA.
So, with the 5th place finish, let me see who got fastest lap. It was indeed Boss Cookie. So that is 1 extra point given to him. P5
and he just got a random 20-second for ignoring yellow flags after the race is over. Into P10. So the stewards hate Red Bull, and they've sent him to the back.
I don't know what the...
I'm sure we'll figure something out about that. That one's weird.
So that's 11 points given to Boss Cookie. So he will lead the championship by 9 points over Taylor. Shazam with this P... Well, I don't know. I thought it was P6. P6 was 8 points. He came out of this championship 20 points behind. I'm trying to do math on the fly, and I am horrible. I am sorry. He came 18 points behind, so yeah, okay, that gap's gonna kind of be the same. Chandler P2 with 18 points. Chandler will be within the championship fight, I believe, because he will now have 120. Am I right?
Sprightly into the top 14.
I think Chandler will be on the... Well, I'll take that back. No, I don't believe Chandler is within the championship fight anymore. That will be confirmed at a later date. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and we'll have Cam, who I believe does our social stuff. He will confirm that.
What a good race for all the drivers out in the wet. Full heavy wet start into the inters, and the McLaren getting it right off a safety car reset.
Go ahead and send invites. And while that's going on, I'm going to turn my AC on. Give me 1 minute. Oh, now I'm back. So, I'll send them out one more time before I lose the, Alright. Well, there's our race winner, Maniko. He's joined. There's Chandler, P3 on the track, but P2 after Drix with his 6-second penalty. So we're waiting for Drix.
Is the Haas actually that bad in this? Yes. The fact that he stayed on the lead lap is great for the Haas. Respect to Sprightly. Oh. There you go, but do we have all of our podium?
Well, we're missing Drix.
Missing the Drix. Do they normally come into these? I'm not sure.
This might be his first podium that he's got. We'll start with Chandler. Finished P3 on the track, but like I mentioned, P2 after the 6 seconds of penalties Drix had in the race. Talk about your race. Talk about dealing with the conditions, going from wet to enter, and kind of a good night. I guess you're kind of, even though with Manico winning for the constructors, I believe it kind of evens it out in terms of the championship. I think y'all lost a little bit to McLaren.
Um, yeah. Uh, Zach finished seventh, so at first it's a net gain for McLaren of 1 point, but Zach could potentially lose some positions.
He's
So,
not in seventh. That was a time glitch.
oh,
I
is it?
think the Red Bull is ahead
Yeah,
of him.
yeah.
Okay. Wherever it is, we're losing points, but regardless, we will be ahead of McLaren going into the final race by a couple points. So either way, yeah, that's going to be a fight for next week. But yeah, that race was awful. That was, when I say this, I mean it. That was the worst car I've ever driven in an F1 game in any condition. There was no turning whatsoever in the full wet conditions. That was the slowest I've ever felt ever racing. That was so to be P2 in the end. Like I can't ask for anything else. That was pretty good. But yeah, just no pace in the full wets. And the inters, it started to come back to me. I was like equal pace with Minico. I was keeping with tricks, no problem. Just keeping him within 6 seconds. I ended up gaining like 2 seconds on him throughout the final few laps. And then it was just having to negotiate Heatwave, who was intentionally holding us up. I was in the party with them. Koki was talking about holding up Shazam towards the end of the race if it came to it, so that since he had a penalty. And then him and Heatwave had a scheme to start holding people up, and so that's why you saw us all getting bunched behind him. He was intentionally holding us up, so you know. But after that, it was just 7 or 8 laps of just cruising on inners, and in the end, it's P2 in the worst car I've ever driven.
Well, tremendous job driving well, I'm not going to say the line that Nicky Lauda said in the movie Rush. That wouldn't be proper. It's impressive with you describing your conditions and what you faced with that you didn't get a penalty. Was the decision to go to inters when the safety car came out, was that pretty much an easy decision, or did y'all know that the rain was going to let up?
We knew it was going to let up because, of course, with the lobby restart, I had to set the weather, and just with how it was full wet, and then light rain. So we knew it was going to go intermediates, and because of the customized weather, the forecast accuracy was perfect. So I've got no idea why neither Red Bull pit for inners, especially
Well,
Heatwave, because he could have, and then Cookie the next lap. I do not know why. I don't know why
I
anyone would have stayed out on full wets, but.
I think Heatwave, he made a mistake by staying out. Boss Cookie, I believe, passed the pit entrance
Yeah, he
when the
did.
safety car was called out. Him and Shazam did. Um, and yeah, you look at what Mercedes did. Mercedes was kind of in that boat with Shazam. Alfa Nice, I believe, already did pit. And they decided to take the bullet. And we'll see how that shakes out in terms of at the end of the year at the constructors. But well done to you. Congratulations on your podium and your drive for Ferrari. Let's move to Rath as he'll talk to our race winner, Manico.
So, putting it on for the win in the McLaren there, Minico. How you feeling?
I don't know, to be perfectly honest. I mean, this whole entire race was just an entire roller coaster, if I'm being honest. Qualifying on the front row was completely unexpected. Obviously, some drivers had their issues, but the fact that I had the pace was a bit surprising. And considering the fact I'm a reserve, I expected to kind of just not be at the pace of my teammate, but I guess he was having a couple issues, and it was really unfortunate what happened to him in the race. But I think throughout that entire race, it was just a matter of just keeping it consistent, keeping it calm, which I managed to do. I had a couple moments, but nothing drastic. Then anyway, when it came to that safety car, obviously Cookie and Shazam up front, they passed the pits at the time, which is really unfortunate, but luckily I was just at that window, so I went straight into the pits. It was a bit touch and go, though, because it was around the crossover point. I wasn't sure if the intros were the right call, but at the end, they were. And then just after that, just keeping it consistent, calm, and, yeah, a win in very unlikely circumstances.
Yeah, got it in the changing conditions in the wet with the McLaren. Not typically the fastest car, but definitely was the fastest out there today to keep a gap and keep yourself ahead after both the Red Bulls and the Mercs kind of had their own issues. So a blunder for them is a win in your pocket. So congratulations there.
Thank you.
And I think that's relatively it for our stream here. We do have more coming this weekend, so stay tuned for all of our other tier activities as well as ACC. So do have lots of other things on the go. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you all next time. And that is BRL Realistic Tier. Have a good night, everybody.